I'm inviting StorPool CEO Boyan Ivanov. Yeah.
How many of you are actually building clouds, be it public or a private cloud? Anybody who is building their infrastructure? Okay, just a few guys. Okay, I'm going to talk about how software-defined technologies are changing the way that we build our infrastructure and our clouds. And I'm going to talk a bit about what's happening in the cloud and hosting industry, about what stops companies from growing, how software-defined technologies can help you grow, and also to have a better company really. So cutting costs, improving performance. A bit about myself, I'm running a company called StorPool, and we're doing storage software and helping public and private clouds to have faster, better, and cheaper service. I've worked in a number of companies, I started a number of companies, and currently we're talking to hundreds of hosting companies, cloud companies, and we have a lot of users of our technology that are mission critical, both public and private clouds like SiteGround, Namecheap, CERN, NASA, and other companies that are utilizing our technology as a storage backend. So, what's stopping a lot of the businesses to grow? You have in the hosting industry becoming rather competitive, rather consolidated industry these days. So one of the things that can help you grow is just having a better service. And that's usually reliability or downtime issues, and this is when you lose your customers. Or your customers are not recommending your service and they basically don't become advocates of your business. Another reason why a lot of the companies are not growing is because they lack critical functionality. Nowadays, a lot of people talk about performance, running faster websites, running faster databases, running faster applications. Or sometimes it's new features. Can I build my website? Can I have object storage? Can I have managed database as a service? So this functionality that you can add to your cloud and hosting basically allows you to have a better business, have more customers, grow the company. And I think a big driver to people moving online, going to the cloud in general, is sourcing talent. It's how you get technical skills, how do you get sales and marketing people so you can actually grow the business. Because nowadays, the most scarce resource you can find is actually time and people. You know, you can spend more money, you can get more money from investments, but basically your limiting resource is the talent you have in your business. So, technology is the fundamental that you're using to build a cloud, and it can make or break the business, and all the things that we discussed, how you can get ahead, it also are underlined by technology. So it's better performance. You know, if your cost is too high, you're losing customers. If you're experiencing bad service, you're losing customers. So a lot of these, you know, God forbid losing data. So a lot of these issues can be addressed by deploying new technologies. Basically, if you have a new technology, it can help you to stay ahead. And I think the most important thing for any business is actually to innovate, because we've seen a lot of companies that were very good at a given stage in time, but they stop innovating and then they go downwards. So the only way to stay ahead of your competitors, to stay ahead of the market, is to constantly innovate and improve your business, which is also equally as applicable to people that want to advance in their career. They have to obviously, you know, stay up to date and learn and develop. So in this case, if you're having a better service, you're not losing customers. If you have a faster service, customers stay or bring new customers. For example, with our company, we have very, very good reference, which basically brings us a lot of business. And I think pretty much any business can do that. If you deliver very good services, high quality services, people will start chatting and they will bring you business. That's without spending dollars or Turkish lira on marketing, business is just rolling in. Another way to stay ahead of your competitors or the market is basically to increase your product portfolio and also to optimize price. And I'll show in my later slides how you can do that on the infrastructure layer. So Of course, it comes again back down to people. In most regions in the world, and we're a global company, we sell in Europe, North America, Middle East, Asia, Asia Pacific, so we sell to many, many countries. And most of the places you go to, it's, they cannot hire technical staff. They cannot hire good sales and marketing people, or they are very expensive. So I think it's all about people in the end. So obviously we're doing IT infrastructure, so I'll put more stress on how you build infrastructure for fast and reliable cloud services. And it starts with software. In the old days, we used to have a lot of devices that are doing our calendar, our camera, our GPS, our POS terminal, etc. Now it's all one single device with a lot of applications, which are all software that are running the job of 10 devices. In the old days, now it's one mobile device. The same thing is happening in the hardware stack for enterprise IT or for cloud services, like your hosting provider, your enterprise bank or telco. They have something like that in their data center. They have, in the old days, they had routers, they have firewalls, they have database servers, storage arrays. Now it's all standard servers running standard software, and that's pretty much it. And obviously you have network in between. So why is this trend to moving to things that are powered by software and a common hardware platform? Well, it's simple, and I'll drill down in the component of building a cloud. In the old days, you had a rack of servers. They're running your applications, your database, your email. Then you have switches that were connecting the servers. Then you had another pair of switches that were connecting to a storage box. This is where your email was sitting. If you said, okay, give me my email, it goes to the server. It says, okay, provide the email, it goes to the storage array. Now, the issue with that is at today's prices, this is complex and the return on investment is not very high, so it's not competitive on the market. So if we take a new design in how we should design IT infrastructure in the way that consumer IT went, it should be standard server platform and software. It's obviously simpler, so you reduce a lot of the specific components, and you have a single purpose server that runs your applications, runs your storage, in many cases runs a lot of the networking functions. So this is not only simpler, it's also most cost efficient, meaning giving you better profit margins, giving you better return on investment. So this is a very big driver to moving to software-defined technologies, be it software-defined data center, be it software-defined infrastructure, cloud-like solutions, because they're faster, better, and cheaper. And obviously simpler, which means less people to manage them, etc. So we understand storage, we specialize in storage, so I've done a small diagram of how you did storage in the old days and drilling down in this bit and how you do it today. In the old days, you had a big sandbox or a storage array that was expensive, hard to scale, hard to manage. It had a number of disadvantages. Then several years ago, we had flash arrays that tried to change this, and I said, okay, we'll do flash systems to address the performance bit and maybe the cost bit, which they didn't manage to fight the expense. They mostly addressed the performance issue. But then there was still another device that you had to manage. So over the years, it became apparent that again, this should be running on software. So software is eating the world, and you have software that don't have any of the disadvantages of the old generation, the traditional IT. So it's faster, it's more scalable, it's more agile, it's more affordable. And to demonstrate that, we've done this measurement of different clouds, and maybe you know this, DreamHost, DigitalOcean, OVH, like leading clouds. And we wanted to show how the performance of one of the subsystems in this cloud, in this case storage, can affect the application performance of everybody in this room. Basically, you're using email, you're using websites, and you don't see that because it's infrastructure, but in the end, you're hitting somebody's databases of one of these providers. If their infrastructure is slow, that means you have slow loading of your page, you have inconsistent service, etc. So we're measuring the services of these companies, and we're measuring, in this case, a technical parameter called latency. This is how fast the system responds. You enter, a website, how fast the storage system can give you the files, the images back to you to see. So we argue that this is one of the most important metrics of any public or private cloud. If you're running Oracle databases, SQL, MySQL databases, in any website you have a database, that's the most important metric of a cloud. So we see a lot of these vendors are giving 1.5 to about 4.5 milliseconds of latency, and you don't know if that's good or not. Now we compared that to AWS Amazon, which is a very popular cloud service, and they're about 5 to 15 times faster than your usual cloud provider. Meaning your applications, if you have a website, it will open way faster in AWS. The problem with AWS is also not that inexpensive. A lot of people say cloud services are cheap. Well, that depends on several factors. Now, we also wanted to see how we compare it to what we're building and what we can do on the market, how we can improve applications for people. And you can see these are some of our customers that have latency that's similar or better than Amazon at a much lower price point. I think the last one is called StorPool BCP, which is a heavily loaded shared hosting customer of StorPool. It's also running the latest and greatest hardware. If you're familiar with hardware, that's NVMe devices, SSD NVMe. So it's rather fast, rather cool technology in the back end. So here we have plotted the response time of a standard PG bench. PG bench is a test that's designed for running PostgreSQL databases. A standard test, and it basically measures the performance of the database. So any website has a database, any application has a database. This is the most critical component. And here we're testing these services of each of the providers to see what is the performance of their service. And in this case, we see that some are running 100 milliseconds up to 1 millisecond, which is quite fast. And we see that all the other providers that's selling you VMs or selling a website, their service is not that great. If you compare it to AWS, AWS is basically above and beyond everybody on the market. As we mentioned a minute ago, they're quite expensive though. I'll just bring back that volume, that storage service that's provided, just the storage service is $333 a month for this level of performance. The rest of the guys are way cheaper, but obviously way faster. So what does this mean to the general user? Well, if you have any application, any website, and you're trying to run on these services, you're running on some of these guys like Dreamhost, DigitalOcean, your website will be very slow. There are many things that you can do to optimize your website. It could be caching, could be reducing image size, etc. But most guys have already optimized that. You have WordPress, Joomla, whatever, it's already optimized. So one way to increase tenfold, to speed up your website 10 times is to decrease the latency of the storage system in the infrastructure layer. So if you're running these services, your website performance would not be that great. And here we have added the customers or the clouds that are built with our technology just to see what will happen. And you can see they're above and beyond DigitalOcean AWS. This is AWS in the green, and you can see the different generations of our customers. This is Togglebox. It's a company that's competing directly with DigitalOcean. You can see there are services above and beyond what's possible with Amazon at a much lower cost. I think we had the cost of their service over here. So they sell the same storage bit for $20, whereas AWS is selling it for $333. And you can see the performance difference. And this is the best current practice, which is a better hardware. As I said, it's NVMe powered system, so it's extremely fast and very cost efficient. So the takeaway here is if you have a very good infrastructure, software-defined infrastructure in your cloud, you can have your applications to be 10 times faster. This means that everybody's website could run 10 times faster. That means that we all are going to be way more productive. all our applications, everybody is developing something, or we as a user will have much better user experience by going to clouds that are software defined or have the right technology. So if you want to learn more about that topic, because I know it's specific, maybe not applicable to many of you in the audience, if you're interested in building IT infrastructure, building clouds, there are several materials that we have, and you can send us an email, we can share these links, because there are just like links here. One is about a tactical advice, how you actually build a very good software-defined cloud. The other one is the one that I mentioned, which is about latency and why latency is the #1 metric of anything that has to do with databases or applications. And the other one is very practical, again, on how to build a service that can give you a very good business in terms of return on investment, in terms of reducing the total cost of ownership and having a more competitive business. And I think with that, that's my last slide. So if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer, or we can chat afterwards. We have a small booth in the area outside. Thank you.